Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the topic Gilligan's theory from the Unit 1 Engineering Ethics. So, what is Gilligan's theory? Kohlberg proposed that people progress in moral reasoning based on their ethical behavior. He postulated this theory based on the thinking of younger children throughout their growing period as adults. He conveyed that the younger children make judgment based on the consequences that might occur, and the older children make judgment based on their intuitions. So, as you see in the Gilligan theories, the moral development is being picturized and illustrated. He believed that there are six stages of moral development which are further classified into three levels. The process being discussed here is about the judgment made by the thinker about the protagonist in a given situation. The steps of the thinking process show the moral development of the thinker. Here, the levels of moral development is in three types: pre-conventional level, conventional level, and post-conventional level. Let us have a look on the example of a Gilligan story. In order to understand Gilligan's theory, a popular example is usually considered. A group of moles gives shelter to a porcupine, but they are being continuously stabbed by the porcupine's quills. Now, what should they do? The researchers found that the solution of this scenario is different with different individuals. Gender also plays an important role. The thinkers were observed viewing the problem in two different approaches or two different perspectives. One is the care based, and the other one is justice based. The pre conventional level of thinking states that to think for the good of oneself, either the moles or the porcupine only can live there, the others has to leave the place. According to the conventional level of thinking, which brings a transition from self to the good of the others and which might even lead to sacrifice, either the moles or the porcupine has to sacrifice, and again this leads to a stage where only moles or the porcupine can live in the burrow. In the third case, according to the post conventional level of thinking, which is stating the good of both the parties, has to be considered, both the moles and the porcupine come to an agreement that both will have separate places in the same burrow where they limit to behave themselves and will not cause any trouble to each other. This helps both them to live in the same place with peace. So, from the example of this Gilligan theory, in a justice based perspective, the solution to the problem is viewed as a conflict between two individual groups. Only one of them can have the property, either moles or porcupine will get the place in the burrow. Hence, the solution to the dilemma is not resolution of the conflict. It is just a verdict. In a care-based perspective, the approach differs. The problem is viewed as a difficult situation faced by both the parties together rather than a fight between both of them. Hence, the solution is sought in a way around the problem or to remove the problem completely. The solution may sound compromising but not damaging. The relationship will still be the same after the resolution. So, the researchers found that justice based perspective is predominant among males while care based perspective is among females, which means they are judging that justice based perspective is always the choice of men, and the care based perspective is always the choice of the female women. So, from the levels of thinking, Carol Gilligan states that the post conventional level of moral thinking can be dealt based on the two types of thinking. Gilligan's theory is based on two main ideas. As it is mentioned, the care based morality, and the other one is justice based morality, the choice of men and women. So, in care based morality, it's a kind of thinking found in women. This is based on some principles, it's mentioned here. One of the principles is it's a more emphasis is given to the interconnected relationship and universality. And its acting justly focuses on avoidance of violence. And since it's a choice of women, women with this are usually interested in helping others, and more common in girls because of their connections to their mothers. It's a hereditary, it's a nature in their genes. Because the girls remain connected to their mothers, they are less inclined to worry about the issues of fairness. So, in other case, justice based morality, the choice of men thinking, it has certain principles. Men, they view the world as being composed of autonomous individuals who interact with one another. Acting, their acting justly means avoiding inequality. And these individuals with this are usually interested in protecting individuality, and they thought to be more common among boys because of their need to differentiate between themselves and and their mothers. Because they are separated from their mothers, boys become more concerned with the concept of inequality. So, on a conclusion note, the movement through Gilligan stages of moral development, it is hinging on an involving sense of self. At the pre-conventional level, only the needs of the self are recognized. At the conventional level, the needs of the others are prioritized while the needs of the self are denied. At the post-conventional level, a balance is struck between the needs of the self and others. So, from these three levels, I think the post conventional level would be the apt decision for the welfare of both the parties and the people. Thank you very much. Let us continue in the next class.